Discover how a young woman inspired a boy to ride a bike, a millionaire's amazing transformation. Emma stood outside the community center, the sunlight pouring over her like a warm embrace. She was a bundle of joy, a 16-year-old girl with dreams as bright as her smile. This summer, she had dedicated herself to uplifting the struggling neighborhood around her. She believed that every person deserved hope, and she was determined to spread hers like confetti blown in the wind. This was not just a summer project. It was her mission. Inside, kids laughed and played while Emma coordinated activities. Her heart raced with excitement, knowing she was making a difference. But it was when she met Liam that her summer took a new direction. Liam, the shy boy with unkempt hair and a hesitant smile, was a shadow in the room, often retreating to the sidelines. Despite the joyful chaos, his eyes carried a heaviness that Emma couldn't ignore. She took a deep breath, drawn to him like a moth to a flame. Sensing a story waiting to be uncovered that as days passed, Emma learned about Liam's love for biking, how it used to bring him pure happiness. But now, the weight of his family's struggles suffocated that joy. He shuffled around like a ghost, his dreams buried under responsibilities that belied his age. If only Emma thought, a spark igniting within her. One day, rummaging through an old garage while looking for supplies, she stumbled upon a bicycle, rusted and forlorn. It was a beautiful bike once, with bright blue paint, now dulled by neglect. This could change everything, she exclaimed, her heart racing. She imagined Liam riding it again, wind in his hair, laughter spilling from his lips. Raising her fists in determination, she vowed to help him reclaim his lost passion. Before she could share her discovery, whispers swept through the community center. Why waste your time? Some peers scoffed. He's just a nobody from a broken family. Others muttered, judgment lacing their words. Even Liam's family eyed her with skepticism, questioning why she would extend kindness to someone seen as beneath them. The sting of their remarks cut deep, but Emma's resolve burned brighter. Compassion knows no class, she thought fiercely. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Days brightened with the sun, and so did Emma and Liam's bond. With her fearless encouragement and unwavering belief, she guided him toward his own courage. Just when hope seemed within their grasp, the community center faced an unexpected financial crisis. Despair threatened to pull them both down. But in a moment of unexpected bravery, Liam stepped forward, rallying his friends and neighbors. He spoke with passion, fueled by Emma's light. "We can't let this place, our lifeline, disappear," he cried, his voice steady, drawing surprised gasps. This was not the boy who once felt invisible. No, this was a boy reborn, ready to fight for his community. As summer began to wane, the air crackled with anticipation. Emma and Liam stood on the edge of transformation, eyes sparkling with potential. But in the silence of the gathered faces at the final community event, the question loomed large: could love and connection transcend their differences? Could they unite a town divided by circumstance? Only time would reveal if their summer dreams were enough to conquer the shadows still lingering over them. Liam's speech lingered in the air like the last notes of summer's song, filling the hearts of everyone present with a mix of hope and uncertainty. Emma watched him, her chest swelling with pride. He was no longer that timid boy, shying away from connection. He was a force, ready to fight for something he believed in. As the event progressed, the community center buzzed with a mix of excitement and apprehension. The adults whispered among themselves, eyes scanning the crowd as if gauging the power of their resolve. Kids played nearby, unaware of the stakes, their laughter a fleeting reminder of what this place represented. Emma found herself by Liam's side, a comforting presence. "You were incredible out there," she said, nudging him gently. A smile broke out on his face, the glow of newfound confidence radiant. "Thanks, Emma. But I don't know if it'll be enough," he murmured, worry overtaking his excitement. His gaze fluttered to the crowd, uncertainty mixing with admiration. "We're just getting started. This is our chance to show everyone what we can do together," she replied, intertwining her fingers with his, anchoring him to the moment. "Let us talk to the families tonight. Let us ask for their help." That night, they gathered together with the families, Emma leading the conversation with warmth and optimism. As they shared ideas, hopes, and a bit about the bike they envisioned for Liam, the atmosphere shifted. Skepticism turned to intrigue. Ideas flowed, voices harmonizing in support. It felt like the community was finally awakening, one soul at a time. Yet, buried beneath their shared dreams was the simmering tension of doubts. Some families remained hesitant. "What if we can't raise the funds?" one voiced, and murmurs rippled through the group. Emma's heart raced. She clenched Liam's hand tighter, a silent communication reminding him of their mission. "Even a little bit helps," she said, her voice steady despite the knots in her stomach. "If we all contribute and work together, we can make this happen." That bike isn't just a bike to Liam. It symbolizes hope, freedom, friendship. Liam's eyes gleamed, and he nodded in agreement. "And it shows that no one is beneath anyone else. We have to fight for each other." The doubt began to melt away, replaced by a shared determination. Slowly, hands began to rise, pledging assistance, financial support, time spent on fundraising, donations of old bikes to repair. Emma felt herself bloom with hope, each new voice fortifying their cause. As the night wore on, plans solidified. They resolved to host a community bikeathon, asking families to contribute to a prize fund, each rider earning sponsorships from friends and neighbors. Liam would be at the center of it, riding the blue bike that had once felt so distant. Emma watched the camaraderie and excitement grow. But deep inside, unease simmered. Would they really pull it off? What would happen if they fell short? The thought chilled her, yet she brushed it aside. The sun set that evening, casting long shadows in the community center, but also illuminating the bonds forged anew. Emma glanced at Liam, a blend of determination and apprehension in his eyes mirroring her own. "No matter what happens, we're in this together," she whispered reassuringly. And just as the thrill of their plans washed over them, a sudden crash echoed from the back of the room. A group of local teens burst in, their laughter piercing the air, but behind them trailed a harbinger of chaos, something Emma couldn't shake off. Did they come here to help, or to destroy? She wondered, heart pounding, everything they worked for poised at the edge of disaster. What would the arrival of these unexpected guests mean for their hopes and dreams? Emma's heart raced as she turned to face the newcomers. The noise they generated felt out of place against the hopeful plans that had just been crafted. Laughter mixed with the accusatory whispers of older attendees, a clear fracture forming within the room. The group of teens flitted around the center, their confidence spilling over like an uncontrollable wave. Emma spotted Jason, the ringleader, shoving his friends as they swaggered in. He had an air about him, one that spoke of trouble and challenges, the sort that could easily undermine the delicate progress they had made. "Hey, party S over here," Jason yelled, his boisterous voice cutting through moments of earnest conversation. It wasn't an invitation, it was a taunt. Emma felt her stomach twist. Liam stiffened beside her. "What do we do?" His voice was barely a whisper, but she heard the worry underlying his words. "Let me handle this," she said, forcing a calmness into her voice. She stepped forward, her heart pounding in her chest, drawing strength from the sense of purpose that had ignited just moments before. "Jason," she called, her tone steady. "This is a community event. We're trying to do something positive here." Jason turned, brow raised. "Positive? You mean all this boring stuff? Come on, Emma, lighten up." His friends laughed, egging him on, completely missing the seriousness of the occasion. Emma took a breath, casting a glance at Liam, who was watching intently. There was no room for doubt now. "We're raising money for Liam. He's going to ride in a bikeathon, and we've already begun to get support. If you're here to tear that down, think again." The atmosphere shifted slightly. Some parents and kids had begun to listen. Jason shrugged, but Emma could sense the wheels turning in his mind. "A bikeathon? Sounds lame. What's so special about a bike?" Liam stepped up, gaining courage as he felt eyes on him. "It's not just a bike," he said, his voice strong. "It's about freedom. It's about being part of something bigger. A community. And you could be a part of it too." A moment of silence followed. Some teens exchanged glances. Emma took advantage of the pause. We could really use extra hands. You might even have fun making this event succeed. Think about it. Jason's expression shifted. For a moment, she saw curiosity replace disdain. Wow, you really think we'd need help? He asked, sarcasm dripping from his voice like venom. Why not? Emma replied, pressing on. You can be seen as those who helped lift up a kid who needs it. Maybe it would even create some good vibes for once. The room felt like it was holding its breath. Jason's friends began to murmur among themselves, glancing at Liam. The tension hung thick in the air. Emma's heart thudded loudly as she awaited their response. And then, in a surprising turn, one of Jason's friends raised a hand with an unexpected idea. What if we challenge you? A ride across the park, winner gets bragging rights. Liam's eyes sparked with determination. I'll take that challenge, he declared, thrusting a fist in the air. Just like that, a ripple of excitement spread through the crowd. Was it the beginnings of unity? Emma felt hope surge even as uncertainty whispered darkly in her ear. But did this invitation to challenge bring with it the risk of humiliation? What if Liam fell short against these local boys? She locked eyes with Liam. Whatever happens, we've got your back, she reminded him, feeling their connection fortify against the chaos around them. And as the possibility of collaboration floated on the air, a new battle loomed on the horizon, one that could either forge stronger bonds or break them apart. Would they rise together, or would their dreams splinter under pressure? Emma couldn't shake the flutter of nerves in her stomach as the challenge hung in the air like a heavy cloud. Rallying support was part of the plan, but this was different. This was a race, a test, and it felt like everything was riding on it. Liam turned towards Jason's friend, his face lit with excitement. Where are the rules? He asked, trying to mask the quiver in his voice with bravado. The park is not too far, Jason shrugged, his gaze assessing. How about we race to that big oak tree at the edge? Let us say 5 minutes? Could be fun to watch you eat dirt. A mix of disbelief and admiration shone in Emma's eyes. Liam was stepping up. The stakes were enough to make anyone hesitate, yet here he was, ready to prove himself. Let us do it, she shouted, unable to keep the enthusiasm out of her voice. The crowd began to swirl, whispers turned into shouts, pulses quickened. Families gathered their children, and the atmosphere shifted from skepticism to anticipation. All right then, limber up while I get my bike, Jason called out, already swaggering toward the door. What if Jason was right? Emma thought, concerns worming their way into her mind. She felt a responsibility weighing her down. What if Liam lost? What if this challenge turned out to be a grand spectacle of embarrassment rather than empowerment? Liam caught her gaze, sensing her unease. You believe in me, right? He asked, his eyes searching hers. You said it's about freedom and connection. I'm not afraid. Of course I believe in you, she said, her heart swelling. Just remember, it's not only about winning. You're already proving something by going for it. But what if winning would mean everything? Liam replied quietly, vulnerability crackling in the air like a live wire. He took a deep breath, as if he was also breathing in courage. People began to gather at the designated starting point, some perched on bikes, others on benches, ready to watch. Emma felt the buzz spread through the crowd, some were excited, others uncertain. The sun dipped low, casting long shadows. Liam straightened his back, and for a moment, he looked taller, steadier. As Jason returned with his bike, Emma could see the confidence oozing from him in stark contrast to Liam's trembling determination. All right, let us do this, Jason called, but there was an edge to his voice, a hint of competitive fire that made Emma want to shield Liam from the potential sting of loss. On the count of 3, Jason bellowed, laughing alongside his crowd, while Liam held his breath, ready to prove everyone wrong. 1, 2, Emma blinked. Everything around her slowed down. 3. They surged forward, a flurry of movement, laughter, and cheers erupting from the crowd. Emma's heart raced as she watched Liam push his legs against the pedals, the wind catching his hair, an expression of fierce determination etched on his face. But in the very next heartbeat, an unforeseen obstacle appeared. Jason's bike was swerving, and he careened toward Liam. Was this sabotage? Emma's heart dropped as she feared the worst. Would Liam be able to navigate this turn? Would he triumph despite everything? The outcome hung in the balance, and Emma wasn't sure if this was the moment everything changed, or if it would all come crashing down. Would they all find a way through, or was this the test that could break them? Liam's instincts kicked in as he spotted Jason's erratic bike, swerving dangerously close. Time stretched, each second morphing into an eternity. With adrenaline surging, Liam leaned hard to one side, adjusting his trajectory in a split second. He could feel the air rush past him, the roar of voices fading into a distant hum. The world had narrowed down to him, the asphalt, and that swift approaching wheel. He narrowly avoided a collision, but not without a cost. He felt the weight shift, and the back tire slipped, sending him skidding across the ground. Time resumed its normal pace, exploding back into sound and movement. The crowd gasped, and Emma's heart took a nosedive. She raced forward, her feet hitting the pavement like the pounding of her heart. "Liam," she shouted, horror etching deep into her features. He landed hard, the thud of his body against the ground echoing like a drumbeat. But he quickly rolled, transforming the fall into a calculated recovery. Scrambling to his feet, grime smearing his palms, Liam fought against the embarrassment that threatened to choke him. The cheers turned into murmurs, the excitement shifting with the drama that had unfolded. Jason, having regained control, skidded to a stop. "Dude, are you okay?" His competitive bravado faded, replaced by genuine concern as he hopped off his bike. Liam didn't respond immediately. He focused on shaking off the pain, on getting back on that bike. "I'm fine," he insisted, more to convince himself than anyone else. Emma reached him, breathless and wide-eyed. "You were amazing," she exclaimed, scanning him for injuries. "You were so close. Just what happened back there?" "It was nothing," Liam brushed off. But it was more than nothing. He could still feel the sharp sting of falling and the dizzying rush of fear and vulnerability it brought. A bitter taste in his mouth soon mixed with determination. "Absolutely not nothing. You got back up." Emma's voice was fierce, a spark igniting her own bravery. "That counts for more than you know." Liam looked at her. Her approval felt like a light in the dim aftermath of his crash. "I wouldn't let that stop me," he said, his voice steadier than he felt. The crowd was slowly dispersing, but Emma could sense a shift. People were impressed. Though Jason hadn't meant for things to go that way, Liam's comeback kept the energy alive. "I think it's your turn again," Jason said, a playful hint in his tone as he gestured to his bike. "Again?" Liam was taken aback. "You mean after that?" "Yes," Emma affirmed, her enthusiasm igniting. "Prove to everyone that this isn't about the crash. It's about getting back on that bike and finishing what you started." The words resonated deeply within Liam. "I can do this," he breathed out, needing to believe in his own capabilities more than ever. He climbed back onto his bike, the metal feeling heavier and yet strangely liberating. "All right then," Jason laughed, rallying what remained of the crowd. "Let us race." The air was thick with anticipation again as Liam readied himself, the doubt fading. Emma's heart raced alongside his, hoping this would be victorious in a different way. "Just go, Liam. You can do it." And with that, they were off once more, the excitement electric in every push of the pedal, each movement forward a declaration of resilience and bravery. But as they raced down the path, another unexpected twist loomed ahead, one that could change everything. An unexpected set of wishes and dreams colliding into reality. Would Liam truly win this time, or would the next obstacle be too much? As they thundered down the path, Liam felt the familiar rush of the wind whipping against his face, igniting a fire inside him. He focused on the rhythm of his pedaling, the crunch of gravel beneath his tires, and the view ahead blurring with speed. The sun cast a golden haze over everything, the warmth creeping into his bones as if urging him on. He was alive, and despite the crash, he craved this moment more than anything. Jason led the pack, his bike swerving sharply around corners as he angled for a lead. "Catch me if you can, slowpoke," he called over his shoulder, a playful grin splitting his face. With a surge of competitive spirit, Liam pushed harder against the pedals. Each turn felt like a battle with himself, overcoming doubt and rising to the challenge. Emma's encouraging shouts followed in the background, her voice a melody urging him forward. He could see the finish line in the distance, a makeshift banner fluttering in the light breeze. Just beyond it stood his friends, some waving their arms wildly, while others exchanged whispered laughs. Despite his earlier crash, this moment held promise. But then, just as it seemed victory was within reach, Liam noticed Jason veering unexpectedly. A flash of concern knotted his stomach. "Watch out," he shouted. Without thinking, he pushed harder, speeding up to maintain his distance and help his friend. Yet, the unexpected happened. Jason's tire hit a pothole, sending him wobbling dangerously before falling sideways. A sickening thud followed. Time froze again. Liam could feel his heart racing in his chest, fear eclipsing the thrill of the ride. A cascade of emotions swept through him. What if he couldn't avoid another crash? What if he failed not just himself, but all those counting on him? "Liam, go?" Emma's voice pierced through his haze of panic. But all he could do was watch helplessly as Jason lay on the ground, groaning in pain. "I can't just leave him," Liam shouted, his body starting to slow down despite the finish line tempting him. "Focus." Emma's urgency only sharpened his distress, igniting a blend of determination and empathy. He couldn't abandon someone who needed help. After a deep breath, he swerved sharply off the path and skidded to a stop. "Hey, dude, you all right?" He rushed over to Jason, who was slowly propping himself up. "Yeah, I think so," Jason grimaced, but there was a hint of embarrassment in his eyes. "You pushed too hard," Liam said, feeling a surge of camaraderie. "But you're okay, right?" "Yeah, just bruised my pride." Jason let out a laugh that quickly turned into a groan. Some spectators had already started to converge on them, and Emma huddled nearby, worry etched across her face. "You did the right thing, Liam," she whispered as she knelt beside them. Shock flooded Liam's system as he glanced back at the path they had left behind, the ambient noise of cheering now a distant echo. Would they all see him as brave or foolish? But he felt something shift. "Let us finish this," Liam said with renewed resolve. Together. Jason managed a smile, a sign of gratitude illuminating his face. "Together," he echoed, and they stood side by side, ready to support one another. With a nod toward Emma, the three of them set off again, this time as a united front. The finish line no longer felt like just a destination. It became a shared experience, a tangible symbol of their determination. Just then, as they approached the final stretch, something wild and unexpected caught Liam's eye. A group of younger kids watching alive with excitement, their joy radiating like sunlight. "Look," he pointed out to Emma and Jason. "They're cheering for us." Their smiles widened as the kids joined in, giving that final push of energy they all needed. But with that energy came another thought. What kind of example were they setting? As they crossed the finish line together, hands raised in triumph, new questions emerged. What would they learn from today? And more importantly, what dreams were waiting just beyond the horizon, ready to be chased? The ride was over, but the real journey was just beginning. Liam, Jason, and Emma slid to a stop beyond the finish line, breaths coming in excited gasps. The cheers of the crowd filled the air, wrapping around them like a warm blanket. But for Liam, the thrill of victory felt faint against the weight in his heart. "Did you see those kids?" he said, still panting. "They were so pumped." "Yeah, it was awesome," Jason replied, adjusting his helmet, now smudged with dirt. "But I don't want to be the guy who collapses next time." Emma nudged Jason playfully. "Don't worry. I'll be right there with you to catch you if you fall." Liam couldn't help but smile at their banter. But as he turned to face the kids still gathered by the finish line, their faces glowing with admiration, he felt a faint tug of responsibility. They were looking at him, expecting something. What did he have to offer? Could he be that source of inspiration for someone else? "Hey," Emma said softly, interrupting his thoughts. "What is going on in that head of yours?" Liam shrugged, his gaze lingering on the youngest kid, a little girl with braids, standing taller than the rest, eyes wide and hopeful. I don't know. What if they think I'm something special just because I finished? It doesn't feel right." "You showed them what it means to help a friend," she said, sincerity pouring from her words. "That is special." He looked from Jason to Emma, searching for confirmation. Jason flashed a grin, clearly recovering by the minute. "I mean, you did slow down and come back for me. Not everyone would." It was true. Suddenly, Liam felt the weight of choices. Would he chase accolades, or could he commit to being the guy who chose kindness every time, no matter how small the act? "Hey," Emma called, drawing his attention back. "Let us go talk to them." Before he could voice his hesitation, she was already marching toward the group of kids, pulling the boys along behind her. Liam felt a flutter of anxiety and excitement. "Hey, everyone." Emma smiled, kneeling down to their level. "You guys just saw something really cool, a team coming together." Liam glanced sideways at Jason, who gave him an encouraging nod. "Do you ride bikes?" Liam asked the group. "Yes," they exclaimed in a chorus of youthful enthusiasm. "Ever had a scary moment?" Jason added theatrically, earning a few gasps. They all shared stories of wobbly rides and unexpected tumbles, their voices bubbling with laughter, reminding Liam that every fall was a part of the journey. As they talked, he could see their faces light up with every word, the kids gripping every story as if they were gold nuggets of insight. Then, the little girl stepped forward, her tiny hands clasped together. "Will you ride with us one day, like superheroes?" "Superheroes?" Liam echoed, heat rising to his cheeks. It felt surreal, but something deep within him ignited at the thought. "Yeah, we can have adventures," she continued, eyes sparkling. "Of course," he said, his voice firm with newfound conviction. "I promise we'll ride together." The kids cheered, and laughter filled the air. At that moment, all doubt fell away, replaced by a wave of joy and purpose. He wasn't just Liam the rider. He could be Liam the teacher, the friend, the hero. As they wrapped up their mingling and the sun began to dip low in the sky, Liam caught Emma's eye. She raised an eyebrow, a teasing smile on her lips. "Look at you, superhero," she whispered, her tone light yet charged with meaning. But Liam couldn't shake the deeper reflection in his mind. What did it truly mean to be a hero? It wasn't just about speed or glory. It was in the small moments, supporting a friend, lifting others, sharing joy. As they gathered their bikes and started to head home, Liam stole one last look back at the kids. They were still talking excitedly, fearlessly planning their adventures, tinged with hope and dreams. If only they knew that the real adventure was just beginning, what other dreams awaited them in this wild world, and what lessons had yet to unfold. The pavement felt cool beneath Liam's tires as they rolled away from the finish line. Jason and Emma pedaled alongside him, but he was lost in thought. The excitement of the race began to dissolve, replaced by the weight of what he had just promised the little girl. Like superheroes. Was he really ready for that? "Hey, you good?" Emma's voice pulled him back. She glanced over, her expression softening. "You seem a little dazed." "Yeah, just thinking." He kept his gaze focused ahead, afraid that if he met her eyes, he'd spill all his worries. How could he inspire anyone? The very idea felt like a mountain he wasn't sure he could climb. As they rode, Jason led the way, spinning tales about past races and daring feats. His words carried energy, but Liam couldn't connect to the thrill like he usually could. He felt almost like an outsider in his own group, still shaken by the girl's dream of superhero adventures. "What if I can't be that for them?" he finally admitted, breaking the quiet that had settled in from his thoughts. "What if I'm just not enough?" Emma slowed down and matched his speed, her expression serious now. "That's not true, Liam. You're already doing something just by being there for them. Remember when you helped Jason? That was different." "Not really," she countered, pushing a stray hair back. "It's the small things that matter. You showed those kids that teamwork and kindness matter more than speed." He glanced at Jason, who had fallen back a bit to let their conversation unfold. Jason raised his hands, playfully mimicking the kids he had just spoken to. "Well, if you aren't a superhero, then I must be a sidekick with a funky cape." They both chuckled, but Liam's thoughts still tangled in uncertainty. He glanced over at Emma, understanding her intentions were only to lift him up, but doubt still loomed like a shadow. "Why do you even want to ride with them?" he finally asked Emma. Her eyes sparkled as though she were seeing the kids again, the same hope reflected from their faces to hers. "Because you can create trust. They need someone who believes in them. And honestly, it's fun. Who doesn't want to relive their childhood?" Childhood, the word hung in the air, and Liam considered the fragile nature of innocence. Those kids looked to him as if he held the keys to their future adventures. It made his heart swell, yet it sank simultaneously. He rolled to a stop, staring at the ground. "So what do we do?" he murmured. "Start small," Emma suggested quietly. "Remember the first time you learned to ride? You fell, but you got back up. Show them it's okay to fall. Show them how to ride through life." Liam's mind ignited with images, kids crashing, getting back up, shaking off dirt with grins. What if he could create a space where it was safe to fail? As a rush of determination surrounded him, he felt his confidence begin to breach the surface. Okay, he said, a slow smile forming. Let us do it. Let us plan a day with them. We'll have races, teach them tricks. We can share stories of how we got started. Now that's the spirit of a hero. Emma cheered, her excitement contagious as she picked up her speed once again. As they rode, laughter filled the air, and conversations flowed with ease. Liam's heart felt light, energized by the thoughts of new possibilities and friendships. Even Jason joined in, lightening the mood further as they joked about their own childhood falls. Nothing felt impossible in that moment. But just as Liam began to embrace this potential, a sinking thought swept in. What if we fail? He said, slowing down again as shadows crept in. That's the beauty of it, Emma said, riding close. You get to learn and grow and maybe even inspire those kids through your failures. Maybe, Liam whispered, the seeds of hope taking root within him. As the sun dipped lower, casting golden hues throughout the sky, a new horizon unfurled before them. What kind of superheroes would they be if they embraced their struggles together? And what awaited them in the upcoming adventure? Uncertainty, growth, or perhaps something more profound? The road ahead felt both exciting and terrifying, leaving Liam anxious to dive deeper into the unknown. Liam awoke the next morning with the sun streaming through his window, illuminating the room with a soft glow. He sat up, his heart racing with the thoughts of the promise he had made. Today was the day he and Emma would meet those kids. The weight of expectation, both from himself and from the little girl, hung heavy in the air. Get up, superhero, Jason shouted from the living room. The world needs you. Liam couldn't help but smile, a rush of nervous energy surging through him. It felt silly, but the encouragement was infectious. He threw on a t-shirt and a pair of shorts, pulling on his sneakers as he stepped into the fresh day, ready to take on the world, or at least a group of kids with bicycles. The three friends gathered at the park, sunlight dappling through the leaves overhead. The vibrant chatter of children filled the air, a symphony of laughter and excitement echoing in the distance. They exchanged eager glances, anticipation buzzing as they set up a makeshift racecourse with cones and chalk lines. You ready for this? Emma asked, her voice crackling with enthusiasm. More than ever, Liam replied, though his stomach churned with uncertainty. One by one, the kids arrived, eyes wide and bright, their energy palpable. Liam's heart swelled as he saw their tiny faces lit with hope. He bent down to greet them, staring into those innocent eyes that mirrored his own childhood fondness for adventure. Hi everyone. I'm Liam, he grinned, waving his hands theatrically. And this is Jason and Emma. Today we're going to have some fun. The kids cheered, and he could feel the excitement ripple through him. First things first, Jason boomed. We're going to learn how to ride like champs. The initial race was a simple one. As they lined up, Liam felt a wave of emotion wash over him. He encouraged them, clapping and cheering, offering advice, just like he had learned to do when mastering his own fear of crashing. The first child, a boy with curly blonde hair, wobbled but stuck it out. Keep going. You've got this, Liam shouted. As the boy raced past, a bright smile spread across his face. And for the briefest moment, Liam felt like a superhero. As they moved through races and games, the effort of the day blended into one joyful blur. Kids fell and laughed it off, getting back on their bikes, eager to try again. In those moments, Liam began to see that the promise he had made was unfolding right in front of him. But just as he began to breathe more easily, a familiar voice broke through the laughter. Liam. It was a little girl he recognized, Sophie, the one who had sparked this whole adventure. What's wrong, Sophie? He asked, kneeling down to her level. I'm scared to ride without training wheels, she admitted, her voice quivering slightly. Hey, he said, feeling the weight of her gaze. Every superhero has their moment of fear. But you know what? You don't have to do it alone. I can help. Liam's heart thudded in his chest. This was it. The real test. Really? Her eyes widened, hope igniting within them. Absolutely. Just remember, it's okay to fall. We'll do it together. With her shaky nod, they approached her bike. His pulse raced as he steadied the frame, feeling the mix of excitement and trepidation build. Emma and Jason watched, their expressions urging him on. As Liam held the bike, A loving thought bloomed. This was the moment where he could truly support her, a real superhero in action. Let us go, Sophie. On three. 1, 2, 3. Sophie took off, wobbling dangerously at first. Liam's heart soared and sank as he started running alongside her, ready to catch her if she faltered. Then came that moment. Her little wheels lifted off the ground slightly, and for just a second, she was riding completely free, her laughter echoing. Time stood still as those few fleeting seconds stretched on. I'm doing it. Sophie shrieked, joy radiating off of her. Liam's cheeks hurt from smiling wide. He was living the promise, shaping lives beyond what he had ever imagined. But as they reached the finish line, the thrill was abruptly shattered. Sophie lost her balance, and before Liam could react, she tumbled to the side, crying out. The world faded around him as he dashed forward, fear gripping him. Was he ready for this after all? What would he do now? Would he have the strength to guide her back into the light when she so desperately needed it? Liam surged forward, his heart pounding. The sight of Sophie sprawled on the ground, igniting fierce determination. As he reached her, the world around him faded, leaving just the two of them in the moment. Her eyes were wide with shock, tears glistening as she tried to catch her breath. I'm sorry, she sobbed, her small hands shaking. No, no, no. Liam crouched down, taking her hands in his. It's okay. You did amazing. You were riding, Sophie. That's what matters. Sophie's cries quieted, her wide eyes still searching for reassurance. Just like that, Liam felt a wave of responsibility wash over him. Here he was, all his fears of inadequacy swirling around, yet he had a chance to uplift someone else. It's okay to fall, you know? He continued gently, brushing a strand of hair from her face. Everyone falls sometimes. What matters is getting back up, and I'll be right here to help you. He pulled her into a warm embrace, feeling her tiny frame tremble against him. And in that moment, everything shifted. The kids were watching, some clutching their bikes in eager anticipation. You saw that, right? He addressed them with a newfound spark in his voice. Sophie just took a step into becoming a superhero. Liam gently helped Sophie to her feet again, her bike propped upright. Let us try one more time, together. You've got this. A soft smile broke over Sophie's face as she nodded, wiping her tears. Liam felt his own nerves subside, replaced by strength and purpose. He steadied the bike and made eye contact with her. Okay, let us count to 3 again. I'll run alongside you, just like before. Ready? Ready, she exclaimed, her spirit unwavering this time. 1, 2, 3. And just like before, she took off, wobbling at first, but then finding her rhythm, the laughter of her friends ringing out behind her. Liam raced beside her, heart soaring, watching as her fear dissipated, replaced by pure glee. Suddenly, she was off, gliding smoothly, hair flowing behind her like a banner of triumph. Look at you, Sophie. You're flying. His voice boomed, almost lost amidst their cheers. That was amazing, Jason called out, capturing the exhilaration of the moment while Emma clapped excitedly. As Sophie rounded back towards them, the joy radiating from her face was infectious. When she reached them, Liam lifted her into a hug. You did it, he whispered, his voice thick with pride. I did it, she squealed, her laughter bubbling over. The other kids echoed her joy, climbing onto their bikes with newfound courage, inspired by Sophie's success. Liam exchanged a glance with Emma, who beamed back at him. See, she mouthed silently. They continued the activities throughout the afternoon, and with every ride, every fall, every laugh, they shared a profound message: the growth that comes from facing fear and working together, stitching their community closer with every pedal stroke. Later on, as Liam wiped sweat from his brow, he watched the kids, their joyous spirits untempered by any falls or tumbles. Families began to gather at the park, bringing snacks and encouraging cheers, far different from the skeptics who had once plagued Emma and Liam. What had started as a daunting challenge transformed into a celebration of unity, a shared understanding that they were stronger together. As the sun dipped low, casting a warm glow over the park, Liam gathered everyone around. Today wasn't just about learning to ride, right? It was a lesson in courage. He grinned at the cluster of glimmering eyes that sparkled with hope. And I can proudly say that everyone here is a superhero in their own right. A chorus of cheers erupted, filling the air with infectious laughter and clapping. In that moment, As the stars began to twinkle against the dusky sky, Liam realized his life had changed. He wasn't just someone's friend. He was a leader, a source of encouragement. Next time, we'll climb hills together, ride faster, share stories, and maybe just maybe help more kids like Sophie discover their own courage. As he made that promise, he felt an overwhelming sense of purpose. They would ride together through life as challenges like the mighty team they had become. Liam turned to Emma, whose eyes reflected every emotion he'd felt in his transformation. "Thanks for believing in me," he whispered, a poignant warmth spreading through them both. "Thank you for being the incredible person you are." She smiled, heart swelling with pride, understanding just how far they had come. As they began to pack things up, Liam felt ready to embrace whatever lay ahead. The path was still open, dotted with dreams and challenges, but he knew he could face them all, not just for himself, but for those who ride beside him. So, remember, every fall can lead to a rise. Join this journey, because with each pedal forward, hope is always just around the corner, and you need to subscribe now to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories filled with life-changing moments. Leave a like now. Your support feeds the algorithm and pushes these inspiring stories to more hearts waiting to be moved. Comment below with your reactions and feelings about this exciting ending. Share your thoughts on courage and friendship. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. It could light the spark they've been waiting for.